On December the 19th, 2020, I posted Anachronism 3102. It's called Flaky Dates and Thunderquakes. For a few moments, our modern global and national geopolitical maps were just too thunderstruck to break loose from the conventions that bound us to our pedestrian lives. However shaky we were at our own beginnings, the tightrope between the visual and the fantasy was clung to anonymously by those in the throes of said conspiratorial beginnings. Under the cover of the thunder, our poor founders blundered. This macabre misery was never an alternative world order, despite the rumors that followed the few woke blokes who wrestled themselves out of the bullpens of yesteryear. That was the era where jumping into a cockpit was not something that could be done with the ease of mounting one's teenage bicycle. So, with apologies and respect to the age-old tradition of cranky old pilots' blips gone silent to whichever corner of the planet was momentarily the hungriest, I submit for your reference Exhibit A, the running joke about which nozzle should I inhale now, the purple one or the yellow one, with the punchline, as always, why, the kitchen sink, of course. This bit was at the top of the all-aboard Hot 100 chart for 3 entire decades. Studies would go on to prove that it was the same as flying was and always had been. Humans with wings. We all spat in unison, didn't we, Earl? We all spat those words. Was it the same, Earl? Was it just flying? And what is it now, Earl? Is it the same? What's the matter, Earl? Cat got your tongue? Go ahead, brief us, why don't you? We've got to file that report. What's your wingspan now, Earl? It's in the explicit instructions, Earl, and I'm not telling you something you're not already fully aware of. We brief, and then we debrief. General Peckinpah had continued, his steady voice raised a bit as the pop majority, those in the mainstream, or the clods as we called them, as the clods sort of arose as one and took off like jet-packed slaves up into the cerulean until they were nothing but barely detectable migratory specks. Time was when a bird in the hand was worth what, Earl? Was worth 2 in the bush. That's right, 1 bird in 1 hand. But now every clodhopper from here all the way out to the Bering Strait is just one thing. Kill 2 birds with 1 stone, they say. I can't set foot in a landing arena, but that's all I will hear. 2 birds, 1 stone. 2 birds, 1 stone. And then off he went, along with the rest of the so-called brass, snowballing down the steepest edge of the planet. And from the hills just this side of where they disappeared from view came the familiar, once comforting sound of thunder in all of its wide-ranging incarnations, from unintentional digestive eruption to the swift, smart crack of the whip. Thunder and Whirlwind and I looked at each other in the eyes for a long while before tooting and mumbling pretty much in unison, where in the world is the world going? By the time we took off for our respective quarters, most of the clods were back. It was all the same as usual with them, all caught up in their own moments as if they were individuals. They made a lot of audible declarations to themselves as if only they knew what was what. For example, Thunder Ann made a mental note of those dumbass ducks, which was almost always followed by cluck-clucks. And there were more than a few, they've gone to the birds, just gone to the birds. Horizons were spread out in all directions, as if around a big red circle, within which it'd be an X and the words, in all caps, "You are here."